Hello, good morning. Welcome in to another episode of Good Morning NASDAQ. You are live on the Clover Trading YouTube channel, which we are live every single day of the week, starting at 8:45 a.m. We round down 8:51 to 8:45 a.m. We got a couple special guests in here. We got Mike Huddie joining us all the way from the East Cayman Islands. Jack Kellogg's there with him as well. Kyle Williams is here because Huddy doesn't know how to plan and told us he wasn't going to be here, and now we have extra people for you. But it is a beautiful morning all across the globe, wherever you are gallivanting. Kyle, if he speaks, you can see his room. He's in the monster truck room. He's traveling as well. Just great to be here with you today on this beautiful Thursday. The sun is shining. Life is good. It is the 27th day of June, year of our Lord 2024. I hope you are all having a wonderful day as well. Make sure, as always, that you are subscribed to the channel. I'll give you 14 seconds here. I actually get around down to 1. Okay, make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button as well, because we absolutely love your appreciation. We really try to get that number to 50 every day. With having over 100 of you in here every morning, we really think it's only necessary that 50 of you volunteer as tribute, hit that thumbs up button, help the algorithm, and really push the show to all new eyes. How are we doing? Who wants to say hi first? There's only 10 of you.
I'll say hi. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Huddie. Yes, and Dom's correct. I'm in the 8-year-old's room again.
Nice.
We're back.
Are you an 8-year-old at heart?
I can be. Just kidding.
I've never really seen the 8-year-old in you pop out. I've seen the 8-year-old in Huddy pop out, but
You need a few. You had to give me a few margaritas.
a few margs, like 1.5.
Yeah. Well, one and a half on an empty stomach will probably get
1.5 margs in a lemonade truly. Call it a night.
Yeah, that's the good mix right there.
I hear Jack is also with us.
Hey.
Ayo. Jack will be gallivanting towards Michigan here in the next month or so. We'll see him, and maybe he'll be on the show from this office, not from the East Cayman Islands.
Ooh, yeah, maybe. I'm excited for that weekend, Dom.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the lake, so I have some fishing spots for you. I know you just like to show up and catch them.
You know that? Just like how we trade stocks.
Yep. Pop in. What do we got today? All right, 100K.
Fuck it, I'm
See you
in.
guys later.
All right, everybody, welcome in. Like I said, it is Thursday, second half of the week. Last week in June, we're hitting the halfway point in the year. So I hope you have some good results, or at least learning along the way, because it is a long year and you never know which month's going to have the best opportunity, and it could be in front of you still. Got a few gappers on the list today. This is our show, Good Morning NASDAQ. If you are new, we talk about the gappers, talk about the biggest runners, the movers. Sometimes we talk about small cap land and just the overall perspective on it and the temperature of it. But today we do have a couple gappers on the list. Looks like they're low-priced gappers, all in the triple digits, up 100% or more. Almost had a Billy Boy yesterday. Not quite, though. Let's get into it. They wanted to start with NLSP, so we'll head on over to their informational page over on the tracker that dilutes.
Parkinson. Parkinson's.
I'll get to it, all right? We've talked about this one a couple weeks ago. What did it run in? Was it MBIO? Was that its sympathy friend?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I was the leader, but yes.
Yes, it ran with that. There was another one too, RELI. It was like the day after that. Yeah, look, it's faded for multiple days now, and so we did talk about this one before on news. That what date was that? 6/17 and 18. There was no news. That's why I was following it. But today, 54 minutes ago, they announced promising preclinical results for Parkinson's disease treatments. I don't really want to dive into it, but it sounds pretty awesome, pretty effective. They're changing the world one preclinical trial at a time. They have a 25 million float. They have negative 2.8 months of cash, so they could use some. Let's see. How did you remember if there was anything in the dilution department that we were looking at?
No, I don't remember anything being there. I can check real quick though.
Some March warrants at 25 cents. Also did what? 305 million last time, so a lot of this could have changed.
Yeah, I imagine that anything that was active in that price range got maybe sold into on 6/18. There's no way to know for sure until the next like earnings statement comes out and you can check the shares outstanding. That's like kind of like a lapse of information right now, but I imagine if there was dilution, it's been used. The share count has expanded a bit, and this might be more thicker than it once was. But of course, there's no way of really knowing. It's just an assumption.
Okay, taking a look at the daily chart, like I said, kind of ran on the day that RELI ran, the MBIO topped out and then started to fade 11 cents to 46 cents. We've topped out at 44 cents this morning. Pretty incredible move, up over 100% right now. One of those plays that looks like a bounce potentially into a breakout, but at that point would be up 130, 140% up there, maybe a little bit more. So not generally my speed on multi-day breakouts.
This kind of reminds me of LRHC the other day,
Yeah.
where like kind of gapping up 80% into the breakout level, and then it did break out, but it kind of got stuffed. It was overcrowded and it failed.
But did
It
that
kinda
one
reminds me
have
of this.
Parkinson's news?
No, it's just it's the situation where it gaps up 100% into the breakout level, and like if everyone's still bullish, like what are the odds that 100% gap ups, hold? And it's not very often, even if it is a breakout, it becomes more like a resistance play.
Yeah, and these cheapies, I expect there to be probably a decent amount of bags. If you remember the price action on that morning as well, everyone was kind of buying it in anticipation that MBIO was going to continue its squeeze over $1 and rip faces. And in response to that, NLSP, RELI were going to be Billy Boys. They were going to run all day, see them at $1. And it was a pretty harsh reality. All the volume traded pretty much above 35 cents, and then we faded to as low as the 20s. And closed at 28. So I imagine there's some bag holders. Volume's been pretty light the last few days, and it's been unable to bounce. Like the fact that it couldn't bounce on Friday, June 21st, maybe those bag holders are pretty real. And as we get into the 30s to the 40s, I anticipate there to be some profit takers as well. But if the volume's big enough, you never know. Only at 52 million right now.
And that's kind of the trend we've been seeing with NLSP, right, is right into that previous gap level of 45, 46-ish. The last like 5 or 6 gappers we've had have done the same thing and have failed, right? You maybe just rolled up what was it, the
Lurk.
NLH? Yeah. There was also MGOL, right, last week. Perfect double top in the high ones. There was also Relly, which tried to break out over what looks like this 65 to 70 cent area, went to 1 and then still failed back down to 40. There was also, I believe, was it AGFY? AGFY kind of looked like it at some point and still failed. So kind of the theme of maybe enticing people to look and find for a breakout, and then it just fails on everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think all we really want to know is, Jack, what direction is this going to trade in today? Are they muted? He's talking. I see his face, but I don't see. You guys are muted.
What stock you talking about?
NLSP.
Did you shave your head?
I think that's why they were saying
Or
James
just-
Harden.
Or just blocking his... the beach is blocking his hair.
Oh, I was going to switch to show everyone. Talk, Jack. He doesn't know how to use the computer. He's only used to using his phone.
He's muted again. Oh gosh.
Why do I keep getting muted?
I don't know.
He's probably touching it.
What's NLSP doing today? Up, down?
Oh, 300 million shares and a nice level at 46.50 is, I don't think, impossible to break. But I think that if it's gonna break, it probably would need to push new pre-market highs and then kind of come into like 35. Like we need to see like another push up. And open really strong and then like kind of pull back and churn volume like MBIO and then break out. But the weaker this opens, I think the higher chance any spikes a short.
I like that. Yeah, I
You
think
can kind of like
MBIO
see it losing volume since 841. It's lost some volume. So if they're not trading at least like 2 million shares a minute after market open, there's no chance this is going to continue higher. We would need to probably trade like 500 million or more.
Yeah,
You heard it.
I believe that. MBIO kind of gapped right into that resistance level and then faded below it
Yeah.
on massive volume, then ripped. If we open too far below it, probably give more people enticing odds on a short and more backholders who believe that this is best case scenario and want to exit.
I like what Kyle said. Even I think the other ticker that you were trying to mention is SPEC, which is another one that kind of gapped into
Yeah.
a prior resistance level and then failed horribly. So that's kind of the trend we have here, and that's probably how I'm looking to play it. Just gonna wait for it to open and see some action first, like Jack said.
Williams giving me bad news that Malgo's already through 1750. They'll come back. They'll come back.
Malgo?
Malgo's hot.
Malgo.
Alrighty, we'll move to our next gapper, but first we got almost 100 in here. That like count is looking good, but it's a little dry on the edges, so we're gonna need 16 more people to hit that thumbs up button for us. And Kyle will do a little dance if you guys can do that for us, and that would just be awesome. Next gapper on the day is IONM, actually up more than NLSP. Another low-priced gapper at the moment. It is Assure Holdings. High across the board when it comes to everything. 8.78 million is their float. They got a delinquency notice 29 days ago. Maybe there's something in the filings. I don't see any
Lovely.
news. Does anyone see news?
Not that I see. Let me double check.
Negative 1.8 months of cash. So both gappers today are cheapies that don't have any money.
Oh, I got an SEC filing. I think it's a withdrawal. What is the withdrawal of what? Of a Form S4. So I would assume an S4 is related to some kind of offering they were potentially trying to do. So I would assume they just withdrew a potential offering they wanted to offer on, and that's at least what started the run. I would imagine. Now it's just momentum from here.
Yeah, it got running yesterday and after hours on that form something, the removal of S4.
Yep.
23 cents to 38 pullback. Now gapping this morning up into the 50s, all the way as high as the high 70s. Not one that has a lot of history. Let's go further back. Actually, there's some big volume days.
A lot of resistance at $1.
50 cents, $1. Already doing more volume right now than any of those days. This stock has clearly done some reverse splits over the years. I just doubt that they've been at 100, but maybe IONM. I don't remember that ticker. I don't know. I doubt it. But yeah, those are your levels. Today's volume's already kind of overwhelming a lot of it. So we'll see if it can hold up, if it can even stay afloat here in pre-market, hold the mid 50s. Kyle, what are your first thoughts? 164% up on the day.
Per our previous thoughts, I hope it goes above $1, makes everyone think it's a breakout, and then fades heavily. That would be pretty on par with the trend. We had two big 100% plus gappers yesterday. Both faded pretty well. I don't know. I think we're in that. I've noticed gappers go through cycles, right? There'll be ones that run a lot, and there'll be ones that fade a lot. And considering that most of these have run a lot in pre-market, they're already up 100, 150, 200%. It's not an easy spot for longs who get in late here. So I have to take the assumption that at some point today, this doesn't end well. You can make money on long for sure. There's no doubt about it, but you can't overstay, because if you overstay, these end up all right back where they started. So,
gosh, that's awesome. Sure. So Kyle thinks that they're cyclical. What does Huddie think?
Huddie agrees with Kyle
Nice.
for the most
Wow.
part. Yeah.
Anything that you'd like to add? We're here. We're all ears.
Oh, I mean, he took the words right out of my mouth. I mean,
Really?
bad.
Did he copy your paper?
He copied my.
Huddy was telling what to say. He was typing it to me in advance.
I was like, tell him about the cycle. Tell him about the cycle.
Oh, that's IONM. Pretty much on NLSP and IONM, there's no inkling of long bias really. up 165% on the day. I do think it's cheap enough that people will short. It sounds like Huddie and Kyle aren't afraid. Kind of resistance all over the place. Also, when you look at those big days that are up, I can't see it on these charts, but it looks like they fade every time. Here we go. All wicks to the upside. So it does have a history of gapping and spiking at least a bit. So maybe that's where Kyle believes that he can get that morning spike, and then it'll be up 200, 250%, and then maybe run into that resistance and fail. Or maybe it becomes the biggest runner of all time and we have a new play to watch. You never know. Nobody's going to know.
I'll tell you what's more likely, though.
I don't care what's more likely. Remember the morning you told me what's more likely in NBIO, and I told you my gut says that this is going to be a 300-400% runner. And it was right.
And I started to buy it.
Was that a Billy Boy? I don't think it was.
Yep.
Was it? It was, yeah. I have not participated in one Billy Boy because I feel like it's when Jack's betting roulette and it's like 8 reds in a row, 9 reds in a row. I can't. And let's pretend that increased your odds that black was going to come the next time. I feel like I'm too late to it, and
I think you did play a Billy Boy. I just think you were short.
oh, it was no. I was at GWAV. I was long all day, and then just couldn't believe
the
it.
short FFIE? That was a Billy Boy.
Yeah, but that was before we had the stats on them. That was I think
Okay.
you did them during that run.
Before that, but yeah.
I was gone when that happened, so I wasn't even talking to anyone about the Billy Boys. I probably didn't even know what did a Billy. I was just checking from the golf course. Okay, any other gappers of interest?
B at SFC. Did we already talk about that one?
Blue
No,
Star.
we haven't. I just want to congratulate the chat. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. We got to 50 likes. So, Kyle, real quick, just do your dance.
I already gave him a sneak peek, but
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
all right.
You should
There we
not
go.
be drinking margaritas this early in the morning.
I got my
My
water.
goodness.
Yep. Got my straight tequila right here.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
the little trick I learned back in college, you got to tear the cover off of that so you know not to drink it like water. Okay? Just it's an indication to everyone that they know don't drink it. Don't chug it, you know. All right. Let's see if there's any questions real quick. Someone says Fifi running. Matthew says ha ha ha, all caps, more ha's after that, of course. BSFC. Let's see what Fifi's doing. I know Jack was long overnight. It's in the 60s.
60s, going for it.
We played Scrabble last night, and I spelled Fifi on my board.
That is not
Did they,
a legal
did
word.
they, I was about to say, did they accept that?
They
It's
did.
gonna trap and run.
Which one?
Wow.
Look at its history. It loves the trap and spike.
Fifi.
What traps and spikes?
We also have Evan Skunk in the house, who you're hearing on my left.
Evan!
What's up?
In the East Cayman Islands.
You're just partying up over there.
Oh wow, look at
What
that.
So yeah, you were just saying that it has a history of trapping and running IONM.
Yeah, I own him. Chart history, loves to fail at spikes, but it loves to spike.
Love
So maybe-
Spike.
It
It
spikes
does love it. It does love to spike.
Yep. Even the day I
Alright.
had a volume,
Wow, Fifi.
what was it? Tiny gap, but it spiked big and then failed. Probably sure.
They'll spike big too. Every single time, it's like 100% run. It looks like.
I wonder if this is the spike and it just fails out. One or the other.
What was the other one, Kyle? BSFC?
BSFC.
Let's see. If you have any questions, put them in the YouTube chat for any of the 5 of us here or any tickers you want to bring up. BSFC moving right now up 70%. Let's see what's going on with them real quick. 1 mil float. They are the packaged food industry. Of course they are. They got news 40 minutes ago. Blue Star Foods, that's them, by the way, provides 2024 revenue guidance of at least 65% growth with anticipated annual run rate greater than 20 million. Is that earnings or is that just a stat? It's
Say one more
providing
time?
it's a forecast for the future.
Oh.
Thank you for giving us your opinion on yourself.
Yeah, it's predictions. Opinion on yourself.
They regained compliance 2 weeks ago with a 1 for 50 reverse split. So that's why
Okay.
the float is
Low.
1
It's like-
million.
yeah.
And they also, all the gappers say negative months of cash left. Negative
Really?
0.9. They all could use some money. Warrants are all expensive-y. Some convertible notes at $3, which is where we're at right now. Let's take a look at the chart as it starts to pick up steam here. Up 78%. This thing's on a mission. Running into some resistance here in the 360s as well as in the 7s. Anything post-reverse split, these charts just get wide and the ranges get a lot bigger. Volume pretty good so far. Looks to have a history of multi-day runs on light volume before fading back off to new lows. Looks like in the less than an hour, kind of spiked from the 180s up into the 3s and holding up quite well. What are your thoughts here, Kyle? 1 mil float.
It's certainly scary. The more we look at these, I can't help but think one of them's got an offering ready to cook it. I haven't done my due diligence, but like all of these are unfortunately the crap of the crap.
The creme de la creme, you meant.
Right, BF is. I mean, sure, but the opposite. And so this is what's tough about gappers. I can't tell you which one's gonna run huge. All I know is that most.
Then why are we
fail.
here, Kyle?
We're just here for the commentary and the laughs. I wish I could act like I'm an expert, and I know, but I don't. However, the only thing I noticed, BSFC is the smallest gapper of the ones we've gone over. It's only up 80% versus the 100 and whatever we've been talking about. So maybe there's some merit there that there's still a little more juice left. But again, it's not like BSFC is up because of these other ones. So it's not like they're going to run to 150% just because INOM is.
Yeah.
It looks good though,
Blue Star, for all I've seen it trade, is one of those that kind of habitually pumps and fades. Reverse splits, dumps. I think it's a pump chart. Again, I don't know if there's an intention to like unlock certain offerings, get their 60-day price kind of higher, although they had a good close back in May. It's probably going to be sketchy and wiki, but I feel like this one's going to fail just because it's the weakest out of all the gappers. It has a huge history of failing when it gaps. That's just one of those low floats. So is it going to wick super hard or not? Like I like that's what we don't know. But I think end of day you're going to see like a red candle if I had to guess. I could be wrong, of course. I got a question. Why is FFIE gapping?
FFIE ran yesterday because of the Rivian news. Rivian got $1 billion from Volkswagen, and I believe another $3 billion, not guaranteed, but like talked about. I didn't read the PR too closely, but it was a big news for Rivian, and so naturally, every crappy EV stock under the sun decided to join them. That's why NKLA spiked. That's why FFIE spiked. And then FFIE just held its gains enough to entice people back in.
They have some bullish reverse split news too.
Yeah, I think the
Potential delisting.
Yeah, when the perfect storm for FFIE here is that it just broke down. It broke down last week or into Monday today or this week, from the 40s to the 20s, and then on top of that PR'd, or it went to the 20s because they PR'd that they possibly have to do a reverse split. So I think a lot of short sellers really got excited there on the low end, only to then get absolutely
farted
trapped.
on.
Yeah, and now we are in this another cycle of having some momentum to the upside.
So sympathy play / short squeeze, like sympathy play turn short squeeze, now kind of holding up and becoming its own little runner.
Yeah. Well, also
Run.
one more thing that I think it was even more likely for this one is that not only is the shorts getting trapped, but then it's think about all the longs who finally gave up, who just lost hope and sold it like 20. And I only know that because I remember watching their most recent YouTube video, and like there was a couple of comments of like, I'm selling tomorrow, this is BS, and I remember, and it's like, okay, if they sold it like 30 or lower, and now here they are looking at it a day later back at 50, and they're like, oh my gosh, you kid, like the tilt, I could see the tilt in this ticker, you know what I mean, for longs and shorts.
Can you feel it though?
So it's just a good momentum ticker all around.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure after this, yeah.
Jack, where's it going?
I like Fifi. I like that it's in play. I like that there's a ton of volume.
The stronger the open, the weaker it's going to be.
What about the more medium the open?
It's a 50-50.
Okay. And the weaker the open, the better?
The weaker the open, the better. If it opens towards 57, it's probably gonna have a pretty decent spike. If it opens towards 70, I think it's gonna get crushed back down to 50.
Okay.
Like that.
And
75 to 80, there's major resistance.
Yeah.
So
ideally, it just
Major.
goes to $1.50. Am I right?
I mean, I've heard news
Am
that
I
they're
right?
I've heard news they're going to reverse split. I've heard news that it's going to like the OTC markets any day now. Like,
how about what are we doing with MLGO today? Are we gonna attempt to buy it or are we gonna leave it alone?
I don't even have a
was gonna
chart
leave
up.
it alone. I have it on watch. I smell 30, and I don't know where I smell it. If it's outside or inside, I don't know. But I certainly do. I'm starting to sniff, and I'm sniffing around, and it found its way onto my watch list. This is interesting. There's a lot of days or candles and moments where this looks dead in the water, and it keeps on coming back right into this 15 to 18 area.
When does it ever look
Gonna
dead
let
in
it die, man.
What'd you say?
When does it ever look dead in the water? It's literally held a higher low almost every day.
If you're watching it on any intraday pattern or any intraday chart.
I guess I don't even watch it, to be fair.
But yeah, it's holding up, and it feels a lot like HOLO to me. What was the other one I was thinking about? I don't know. I just like it. It's holding over the giant 15, 16 resistance on the daily chart. Trying to remember in the back of my mind that it's Chinese poop, but there is room to move. It is actually very similar to HOLO back in here. And that one worked out quite well, 40 to 100. So
I hate these tickers.
you love them.
I'm not even gonna look at it.
Don't look
I think
at
it's
it.
dangerous. It's risky. I don't like risk.
You love risk.
About it.
But that is the half hour this morning, everybody. I hope you had a good time hanging out with us this morning. If you liked it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you want, we can hang out again tomorrow, Friday morning, 8:45 a.m. right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. I doubt you'll have all 5 of us, but you'll have at least 2. And we'll talk about the gappers of tomorrow. If you are a 4-leaf clover, you have a webinar with Kyle today. Looking forward to that one from the children's room over there with the monster trucks on the walls. He'll be doing it live from there. And if you want access to 3 or 4 leaf, you can always do so over at clovertrading.io and talk to support if you have any questions. We'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. And let's head on over to the Clover room and get prepared for the day. Have a wonderful Christmas, everyone.
Merry Chrysler.